I stand with the protesters. And I think all well-meaning Americans stand with the protesters. It's not an isolated incident. It is a continuum of cases and situations that have been going on for decades and decades and decades. These are just chapters in a book.
Good morning again, everybody. Welcome again to my channel. I want to discuss the situation in America regarding the death of George Floyd. There's a lot being said. I noticed that Como is weighing in on it. I have received a video where the cops are weighing in on it, telling how they feel.
I am disgusted with the things that happened in Minneapolis.
The man was murdered.
It was murder.
George Floyd being murdered.
Guilty of murder, because that's what that was.
I am disgusted with the things that happened in Minneapolis. Period, point blank, things could have went way different. At the end of the day, let's talk facts. Guy is on the ground. He's laying on his stomach. He have handcuffs on. It's 4 of y'all, 1 of him. 4 of y'all, 1 of him. Who has control of this situation? As an officer, you are a first responder, right? So if in the midst of you trying to gain compliance, someone is hurt, you have to render aid. So somebody saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. You don't think to yourself and say, oh my gosh, this guy can't breathe. He might die. If I see wrong happening, wrong is not happening in my presence, right? I'm going to check it. And that's period.
The man was murdered. Nowhere in mechanics of arrest are we ever taught to put our knees onto somebody's neck/throat area, especially for that long. And the 3 officers standing around watching that happen, y'all are at fault too. Y'all could have told the man, get off him, he can't breathe. I mean, you're hearing him say it. It should have never gone that way. Rest in peace, George Floyd, for real.
I've seen the video of George Floyd's murder. That's what I believe it was murder by a police officer, and I'm not okay with that. I am not okay with somebody in my profession doing something like that to another human being. The man goes unconscious and they don't even provide CPR or aid to him. They continue to kneel on him. That is not okay. And if you as a police officer can watch that video and not think something's wrong, you are part of this problem. You don't admit when somebody did something wrong. George Floyd's family, I'm sorry, this was not okay.
So I got a chance to watch this video of George Floyd being murdered on the streets of Minnesota. Yeah, murdered. And we have an obligation as good officers to speak out against the bad. We have an obligation, and we owe it to the public and to the other officers in this country that are out here actually trying to do good, actually trying to protect and serve with honor. And if you stay quiet and don't speak out against it because you're fear of judgment, you're complicit in the behavior, the disgusting behavior. It's time that we take these bad officers and speak out against them and start holding them accountable and hold them to the same laws that we expect citizens to abide by. They're not above it, and it's time that good officers start speaking out and stopping it.
To the Floyd family, I am truly sorry for your loss, and that should have never happened. And I hope those people are found to be guilty of murder, because that's what that was. We got to change this. We got to break these barriers and these walls, and we got to do what we can as police officers. So 5 years ago, I did a traffic stop where a young man thought I was going to hurt or kill his dad because of the color of his skin. And that broke my heart. And from that moment on, I decided to change the way I do policing. I let them see who I am underneath this vest and who I am underneath this badge, so the innocent people don't have to fear me anymore, because that's not what we signed up for. So I challenge the other law enforcement officers. Get out of your car and get to know the people you protect.
Now, there is a little statement that says, madness is defined as doing the same thing and expect a different result. So you keep doing the same thing, it yield one result, but you're expecting a different result. I say this to say that after the looting, after the shooting, after the mayhem, after the burnings, what's next? Black people, what's next? Has it worked? And how has it worked? How has it worked for you? You all keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and again, and it has not worked, but you expect a different result. It's time for black people to be smart. Going around and beating up people's property, burning down people's property is never a solution. That method has been tried a time and time and time again, and it has not worked. It has failed miserably, and yet that's all it seems that we know how to resort to. And it's really a crying shame on us black people when we behave as if we're cuckoo up here. Yeah? It has not worked. The protest has not worked. As a matter of fact, it seems as if it only empower those who would perpetrate these wickedness to continue to do these evil against the black population in not just in America, but quite a few places in the world, as a matter of fact. But it's just that it is more blatant in America. You're fighting a losing battle if all you can do is to go out and burn. And I'm not saying you must not express your anger and your outrage, but it has very little. See, right now, Como, oh, he's weighing in and, oh, I'm with the protesters. I'm with the protesters because, and he give one list of problems that they have encountered and how those who have been killed and all of that. And he does not offer a solution. What is the solution? That is what we need, not protesting and burning. We need a solution once and for all. That is what America needs. That is what Canada needs. That is what England, wherever racism exists, it needs a solution once and for all that does not entail violence and burning and shooting and looting. Now, let me tell you something. It's like a setup a lot of the time. Because guess what? You know, in the boxing ring and in like kickboxing, you try to use strategy. That strategy is try to get your opponent angry, doing things that get him hungry, because when people are hungry, they stop think. They stop to think about what they're doing. So when people try to do these things and get you angry and you're working out of it and you're acting out of emotion, it makes no sense. As a matter of fact, that's what they want you to do, to get angry and loot and shoot and burn. And feel like you have accomplished something, and most of the time all y'all went to do is burn down innocent people place and loot and shoot innocent people. When what you need to do is get a strategy of how we're going to use our intellect, how we're going to use our intelligence, how we're going to get leaders and get good leadership to create a better place for black people. It can't be just looting and shooting and then we go and say, oh, I feel good, I loot and shoot and I burn. What does it accomplish you? In another couple of months, the same thing happened again. My friend, we are taking the wrong approach. We need strategy, we need leadership. The black community, you need unity. There's a part in my Bible that says, when people are united, anything is possible for them. The black people need to have unity among themselves, form associations, whatever it is that unites yourself across the globe. That is what is needed. Huh? That is what is needed. Because unity is strength, unity is power. They're afraid of unity. That's why they have this strategy of dividing and conquering. Just like in the jungle, the lions, When the buffaloes are together, the lions are hungry and they can't kill them. They have to go one side. But what the lion do is to strategize and say, how am I going to get my meal? How am I going to survive and feed my little young ones? And what they do, they create a stampede, rush the pack, and then when they look, one is isolated and then they go for the kill. Strategy. Even animals know that it is strategy that you use, never emotion, smartness. And I'm appalled that the black people, we have so much black people with intelligence and nobody is saying, let us find strategy. Or even if they're saying it, I've not heard it. So my friend, it is a waste of time what we're doing, what you're doing. We have men like Farrakhan, and I know everybody's afraid these days because of what they did to Martin Luther and Malcolm X and those men. Nobody wants to put up themselves as a hero, but it has to be done. Somebody has to be a hero. There need to be better leadership. You notice when these people are fighting their case, they just get the proper lawyer who know the Constitution, who know the law, and they fight their battles. Why can't we do the same thing?
I stand with the protesters. And I think all well-meaning Americans stand with the protesters. It's not an isolated incident. It is a continuum of cases and situations that have been going on for decades and decades and decades. These are just chapters in a book. And the title of the book is Continuing Injustice and Inequality in America. And these are just chapters. The chapters started modern day Rodney King in Los Angeles, 1991. Abner Louima in New York, 1997. Amadou Diallo in New York, 1999. Sean Bell in New York, 2006. Oscar Grant, Oakland, California, 2009. Eric Garner, New York City, 2014. Michael Brown, Missouri, 2014. Laquan McDonald, Chicago, 2014. Freddie Gray, Baltimore, 2015. Antoine Rose, Pittsburgh, 2018. Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia, 2020. Breonna Taylor in Kentucky, 2020. George Floyd in Minneapolis, 2020. That's why the outrage. That's why the frustration and the anger. It is not about one situation. It's about the same situation happening again and again and again and again, and seeing the same thing and not learning the lesson. And then it's that happening in a broader context and a broader circumstances, which is what's going on with the coronavirus, which affects and kills more minorities than anyone else. You look around this country and you look at the people who are dying of the coronavirus, it is disproportionate African American people. And it's just a continuing injustice, and that's the frustration and that's the protests. Nobody is sanctioning the arson and the burglaries, but the protesters and the anger and the fear and the frustration, yes, yes. And the demand is for justice. And when the prosecutor came out and said, well, there's other evidence, but I can't tell you anything more than that, that only incited the frustration. Injustice in the justice system. How repugnant to the concept of America. And over and over and over again. I stand against the arson and the burglary and the criminality. I stand with the protesters. And I think all well-meaning Americans stand with the protesters. Enough is enough. How many times do you have to see the same lesson replayed before you do something? This country is better than this. It has been better than this. And it shouldn't take this long to end basic discrimination and basic injustice.
You know, in regard to what Como said, this man is weighing in on it. And we can't say for sure, out of all of those names that he listed, yeah, how many of those policemen are behind bars today? How many? He give one long list, and the question is, what is he doing about it? Apart from saying he's with them. What all those who are all the police and everybody were saying, oh, we agree with the protesters. We don't want that. What are you proposing? What are you doing about it? When is a strong message going to be sent that this will not be tolerated any longer in America? No, it's never going to be done, because you know what? The black people are not using this. Violence is not the answer, because you are outgunned. You are outgunned by the security forces, as you can see. I saw a little clipping of a video and this girl was cussing up a lot about it. Look at how many people are, look at how these cops are protecting this murderer. Look at how many cops are, and she kept on and on and on. Look at how they are protecting this. Apparently they were at his home, guarding his home. So, you're outgunned, you're outnumbered, but you are not to yield to that and think that you can't find a strategy. It's not hopeless. It is not hopeless. It is not hopeless, my friend. We just need proper leadership, and we need we need intelligence. It's an intelligence thing that's gonna win this race, or win this battle, or win this fight, whatever you want to call it. Use your intelligence, and that is what is going to win the fight. Not the shooting, not the burning, not the looting, but strategizing. Strategizing. I won't say no more for now. They say a word to the wise is sufficient. And I'm calling upon those in leadership. Until now, I don't know if I missed it, but I have not heard Donald Trump come out and say what happened is wrong and the guy should be charged and it's murder. I don't hear nothing from Donald Trump, except I read something that he was calling the protesters thugs and saying the military and the guards or whatever is ready for them and whatever. That's so poor. That is so poor. But you know, I've come not to expect much from Trump. Really. I'm trying to gain love and respect for this man, and I just can't. He's just not doing anything for me to say, boy, I respect. And I, you know, because a situation like this calls for good leadership to step in and say no. The same way you step in and say they're going to make laws against Twitter that's shutting up him, and on Twitter are trying to shut him up or trying to censor him, and he's ready to write a law, to pass a law against the media, right, to protect his free speech, but he's not jumping on board the bandwagon to help the black people or to say anything that would send a strong message. I don't know if I haven't heard it and he said it, but I'm sorry. I just talking based on what I see, and you know, it is appalling. But as I said, I don't look to him for much leadership, because obviously, you know, he is not up to the task when it comes to bringing unity, love, and peace in our nation. He likes the division. He likes the superiority complex. He likes the racism, apparently, because he's not doing anything about it. He's not saying anything about it. He's not coming out against it, you know. Anyway, people, I leave that food for thought with you, and I hope that somebody will take something from this and will go and apply it. We need people, smart people who know the Constitution, smart lawyers. You get all the smart people together. You get all the black people together and you unite them across the globe against what's happening. And you do your thing. I'm out. God bless you, and we'll talk in my next video. Bye-bye.